Many people wonder, does heaven actually exist? And if so, what does it look like? Our next guest says he's seen it with his own two eyes. Colton Burpo says he went to heaven at the age of just 4 during a life-saving surgery. He and his father wrote the best-selling book called Heaven is for Real, and now they have a new book titled Heaven Changes Everything. Colton and Todd Burpo are our guests this morning. Welcome back, guys.
Good morning. Glad to be back.
Okay, it's a pleasure to have you. Colton, let me start with you. So your new book is called Heaven Changes Everything. Tell us what's in it and why you wanted to write this.
Well, Heaven Changes Everything is pretty much just a daily reader that we put together with experiences that we've had today since the book came out and experiences on the road sharing their story. But also, we put it out on the open so that we could help other people with their daily problems.
That's really nice. I mean, because I know that in your life, heaven has changed everything.
It has.
And Todd, you're a pastor. I know that you have long believed in the power of heaven and the afterlife, but how does it completely change things for people who may be skeptics?
I think we need confidence, but hope. Hope is a huge thing. And healing. I think a lot of people deal with issues and we bury them, but we never get healed from them. And like when Colton told us about meeting his unborn sister in heaven, we've gone through a miscarriage and we never really healed from it. We just kind of buried it, and he helped us heal from it. And the knowing that our daughter's in heaven, there's a healing that psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors can't give to you, but heaven can.
And what you're referring to, of course, for people who don't know, is that when you were just 4 years old, your appendix burst and you had to go into surgery. And in that surgery, unbeknownst to your parents, it was a little bit more touch and go than they knew. You believe that you went to heaven, and in fact, you came back with stories that you couldn't otherwise have known. You met some relatives there. Tell us about that.
Well, the relatives I met in heaven was my great-grandfather Pop and my unborn sister, which was miscarried before she was even born.
And so after a 4-year-old comes back from surgery and starts talking about these things, did that confirm for you? Did you ever have any doubts about heaven?
Well, I didn't have doubts about heaven's existence, but I had a lot of questions about what is heaven like. I mean, I think for a pastor to come up to you and say they've got it all figured out, they're just not being honest. The Bible has many verses about it, but not a complete picture in there. And so for him to fill in blanks and put those pieces together helped me out tremendously. And I think it's helping a lot of other people out the same way.
Well, it must be, because as I last met you guys and interviewed you 2 years ago on this very couch, and since then your book has spent 44 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list, so clearly it's resonating with people. How do you think it helps people, Colton?
Well, people, they want heaven. They want to know that there is something after life, so that they can look forward to something after they die. Heaven is everything that you need. It's fun to be there. You get to be with relatives, and you know everything that's happening down here on earth.
And it's particularly nice for people who are in crisis to think that there's something bigger.
Well, you know, is someone going to fix what I'm going through right now? Is there hope on the other end? You know, the pain and stuff we go through in this world, this is not heaven yet. Is it going to get better? And is that a reality? And that's where heaven and knowing that changes everything. Not only how you do life now, but I think especially for ladies. Sonia writes about a third of this book, and she connects especially with the loss of a child with ladies, and they need that. And in the first book and the second book with me and Colton, they didn't really get to hear from Mom, and this one they do. Absolutely.
It's so important. What a great message. Todd and Colton Burpo, again, the new book, Heaven Changes Everything. Thanks so much for coming in and sharing it with us.
Thank you. This is great.